In this session, we're going to learn about object in Scala. How do we create an object in Scala? By just using the keyword object with a lowercase object and the object name. Basically, Scala has a singleton object, which is a class that can have only one instance, that is that object. And we can instantiate a singleton object. So in Scala, the classes can't have static members, and therefore the objects are actually a singleton object. Let's look at the example and see how we define object. I have object my student, so the keyword object, and then my student is the object name. Here I assign two variable ID, and I have a new unique ID that calculates a new ID for me. I have an object my demo, and I have a main method. So if you compare, for example, this main method with the Java main, I don't have the keyword static here. Why is that? It's because this object is already a singleton object, meaning that we can have only one instance of this object, and therefore this main method is already static. And that's what it means if I want to talk about how we make it look like Java. Okay, so here I'm calling my student object, and I'm calling this new unique ID here. And if we are going to run this program, we should expect different IDs in different run. And because this ID, it's a static variable, and every time I'm calling new unique ID, it's going to use the previous value of the ID. So this is about how to create an object and what we mean by object in Scala versus in Java. Okay, something else is about the companion object. When we want to create, if we have a class, let's say here in this case, I have a class student, and if we create the object with the exact same name of the class, we call this object is a companion of this class. The class is the object's companion class. A companion class and objects can access the private member of its companion. For example, let's look at here. I define a method getID, which is return integer, and this getID is going to call this method new unique ID, which is calculate in my object class. So do you see, this class is able to access this method that I define in my object. And here I'm defining the student, I'm instantiating a student, and here I'm calling st.getID. So when I call getID, and I'm actually calling it twice, it means it has to give me different result. I have to comment this code so we can try this. Oh, I think I have to run this. Okay. Let's just run the demo. And if you see, I have number 1 and number 2, which is the ID. So that's basically all about objects in Scala. You use the keyword object with the object name. We have something named companion object, where the class name is equal to object name. And we also learn that in Scala we don't have static members, and that's why the object are singleton object, that which they have static members. And that's it about objects. Thank you.